Hey viewers, welcome back to Walkabout RV Adventures. On today's episode, it's a special one. We've hit 100 subscribers. We are so excited, we're hoping to climb more. And as we promised something special, we're gonna do our first RV walk around.
We have been meaning to do it for so long, but every day we keep saying we're gonna do it, and today is the day.
Absolutely, so we're gonna show you what it looked like before we had it, all the adjustments we've made, how we actually went from a 3,600 square foot two-story house in New Jersey to an 800 square foot 35-foot RV. So stay tuned, everybody.
So Carson, what do you love about living in the RV?
Gliding mosquito.
So Memphis, what do you like about living in the RV and living this lifestyle?
I like to play around on my scooters with my friends.
So Paige, what do you love about living in an RV and living this lifestyle?
It'd have to be making new friends, because I made really good friends on the road, and getting to see them over and over again while we're traveling and like going to the same parks is great.
All right, let's start on the outside. We're gonna show you how we actually minimalized first. Along the way, I'm gonna talk about some upgrades that I did. So come along, come and have a look. On the driver's side has 3 compartments. Each compartment we've learnt to minimize things and fit things in. In this compartment here, we've got our tote boxes with a whole bunch of stuff. We've got the Blackstone in here. We've got the kids' arts and crafts box. Then we move down to here and we've got our compressor. I'm actually gonna put a link at the bottom of this video to this compressor. Don't go RVing without a compressor. You need to have this. You should be checking your tire pressures all the time. It's gonna save you a lot of money on blowouts and things like that. We've got a bunch of other stuff. We've got, this is unused. Don't get scared. This is not a used sewer pipe, it's unused. I don't mix used sewer pipes in our stuff. I can't open this one because we're hard up against a podium here. But in here we also put our little pop-up clam, you might call it. So we'll go over and have a look. You don't want to see this. This is just a wet bay, but hey, I'll open it. It's a wet bay. It's where we've got electricity, everything hooked up, our sewer pipes, the whole works. Everything's in there. And then up here, this is kind of my messy man cave. I don't fit in there, but it's still a messy man cave. I've got the spare wheel, I've got impact drivers, I've got leveling discs, I've got cork, I've got tools, I've got electrical stuff, you name it, it's in here. Great little area to put some stuff. I'd tell you now, if you do get something that's similar to ours and you want to hide some stuff away, this is the place. Right, now we're on the passenger side of the RV. On this side, we have a little bit more storage. We've got 4 compartments. One's semi-pass-through, but not really because it's blocked by our tanks on the other side. But let's take a look and see what's in them. So the back compartment we use for things like picnic tables, stuff like that. That's the one with the semi-pass-through. We've got the air fryer in there. That kind of steps up to about a 4-inch pass-through on the other side, but it does not come out the other side. So anything that goes in the back, we've got to send one of the kids in to fetch. Over here, we've just got, again, some more storage areas. Just lay the clothes rack down. Totes, the drone, barbecue cleaning equipment, things like that, you know. I know you pro guys probably don't want to go through all of these, but it's good to learn. This is our tiniest. I don't know why this is even here. This is the tiniest. It's so small. We just threw things in like sand toys, helmets, kids' toys, you know, stuff like that. Now this is my area. This is my area. Why is this my area? Because this is the biggest storage place we have. And the first thing I did when I bought this is I bought this little Black & Decker college fridge. Anyone who knows me knows I like to have a couple of beers. So I'm gonna put a link down again in the bottom to how I got this. This is relatively cheap, fits right in the pass-through. Actually stores quite a bit of material in there. And the addition, I just put that on. Lost a lot of beers until I put that on there. Especially after a day of travel, open the fridge up, they'd all fall out. Hitting rocks, things like that, cans would burst. Lots of other storage in here. The barbecue normally goes in here. We're gonna take a waltz over in a minute to the barbecue area. Another upgrade I did, this used to have a a CD player, a Jansen CD player, and 2 tiny little speakers. They were busted when I bought them, so I replaced it with this Bose system. It's actually not that bad. Yeah! The speakers, the whole thing set up was relatively cheap. Again, I'm gonna throw a link into the bottom there, and you guys will be able to see and take a look. This is a new addition. This is the Pamapic. This is, we had an Easy Up before we bought this. It was a 10 by 12, took a lot of effort to get it up. It was annoying. This thing is one of those just throw and pops. I love this thing. It's 12 by 12, again on Amazon, check the link below. come on in. We've got it set up today. We've got a couple of carpets out. It's not exactly clean. Got some chairs, the barbecue, the Coleman barbecue up the back there, little preparation table, and the fold down bin. We talk about minimalization. This is a fold flat bin. This thing goes like this thick when we're on a travel day. Takes away the big cumbersome trash can that we used to have. Got rid of that a little while ago. Best thing we ever did. So come on back down this way and let's have a talk about some other upgrades that we made here in the rig. So when we first bought this rig, it had a manual awning on it. I never knew how to use it, but me being the type of person I am, I just jumped in and tried to use it. Had Alison help me out. Unfortunately, one of the bars broke. Smacked poor Alison in the head. Wish we had gotten that one on camera because I know you would have all loved that. But that's what happened. And I thought straight away, I'm not messing around with the manual awning anymore. The Solaris systems online were cheap enough. So we bought and installed the electric Solaris system. We kept the old awning fabric and the old awning roll and installed all new arms. This thing, come on down and I'll show you. This thing here has a wind sensor on it, which I love. It's probably saved us a lot in the past. Up here is a wind sensor. If the actual wind picks up too much, this thing will drag itself back in. So, you know, especially like where we're here in Fiesta Key right now, down here in the Keys, it can get windy. So it's good to be able to go to bed and have a peace of mind that I'm not going to wake up in the morning and the arms of my RV are going to be, arms of my awning are going to be ripped off. So that was another big must for us. I'm not saying go out and do it. If you have a manual awning and you're comfortable and you're happy, stick with it. If you just want that convenience of a automatic awning or electric awning, invest in it. Again, the link's going to be down the bottom for you guys to check out. It's all, everything we bought is all been on Amazon. So now that pretty much wraps up the outside of the RV, but you know what? I think there's more to be seen.
Oh, hey guys, come on in. So this is our home. It's not a fancy home, it's not a big home, but you know what? It's a home and it fits a family of 5. So I get a question asked me all the time, and that question is, how do you fit a family of 5 in a Class A? Well, let's go for a walk and let me show you. Here we used to have a really old, I would call it a sitting chair. It held no purpose for us, it had no seat belts, it had absolutely nothing. So we actually ripped that out and we put a desk in for my husband's work because he works each and every day, and I was tired of all these computers being all over the table, all over the front of the rig. So what we did, we put the table in, we put his chair in, and it's permanently there so it stays there. Because before we moved in here, I started following the KonMari method, which I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but I got rid of basically 80% of everything that we owned. Everything has a purpose, everything has a place, everything has a box or a container. Nothing we own will be out unless it has a place to go back in. Over here you will see a wonderful kitchen. It is very small, very tiny. I don't want to open this cupboard, but I'm going to show you. It's very messy. I try to keep it clean, but when you have a family of 5, nobody puts anything back, and it does make me very, very particular when I turn and open a cupboard and everything falls out, especially on moving day. We had an old convection oven. We were up here in the Keys a couple of months ago, and he decided that it wasn't going to work anymore. So we went, I want to say 3 or 4 weeks without a microwave, and I will tell you now, I never realized how much I used a microwave in my life, and I depended on it. Back to the mainland, we purchased one. The link will be below. We made a few moderations to make it fit because the one that we had no longer was made. Coming down here, we have our stove and our oven, which we pretty only much make it for bacon and eggs, or if it's really, really cold outside and windy and Craig doesn't want to use the barbecue, but we very rarely use the oven. We've downsized a lot, so we really only keep the bare necessities, the bare basics. So I used to be one of those people, and I will admit it, I had, you know, lots of cleaning products. I had 2, you know, window cleaners, I had 2 hand sanitizers, I had, you know, 2 dishcloths, I had 2 or 3 or 4 of everything. Now I have actually 1 of everything, and if I do not use it or I do not need it, it does not. Lovely couch, you would say. We hate it. It's supposed to fold out to a bed, but it does not have a mattress in it, so we don't use it as a bed, we use it as a couch, and that's one thing we will be replacing. That's why it's got covers on it. It's not pretty by any means, but it works.
One of my favorite parts, my bed, you see, I don't really get one. My bed is the couch, and my bed is everybody's, such as Memphis, who watches TV.
So why don't you have a bed? Explain.
Okay, so this camper comes with a master bedroom, which mom and dad have, and then bunk beds, which the boys have, and it was just easier for me to sleep on the couch considering they go to bed much earlier than I do, and I stay up until pretty much my parents go to bed, so.
And you didn't always sleep on the couch, did you?
No, it's actually behind here, but it got too hard to pull in and out. I had a like camping fold up put away bed, and to be honest, in the morning, I don't want to have to wake up at 7 a.m. in the morning to put my bed away because my dad has to go to work.
Come on down here, we have our dinette. And the good thing about our dinette is we have seatbelts. And that was a must for us with a family of 3 young kids. We looked at so many different Class A's and Class C's and stuff, but none of them ticked our boxes. My must have, not so much Grace, my must have, I wanted seatbelts. So let's move on to our inspirational wall. This actually came about from another YouTuber that we met along the way, and I will link their YouTube link as well. But this is technically our inspirational wall. We've just started it. This is our logo. So I made this, I stuck it up on our wall. Our saying is, let's go walkabout. So I printed out something that says, let's go walkabout. So when we wake up every morning, it's just something to wake up and go, you know what, let's get out of bed, let's get out, let's go do something and try something. But this is a photo that we got done in Orlando. So, you know, just, we're gonna be doing a few more things, so they'll go in these pictures. That's why I've got a lot of frames that are not, haven't got pictures in them yet. That's because they're the things that we're going to do along the way, and I'm going to print them out and put them in there. Come through this way. So this is our boys' what do you call it, bunk area. So the amount of toys that my kids have is pretty much what you see here. We downsized, we eliminated so much stuff. So this box here, it lifts up, and that's pretty much where all the toys go. They each have yeah, there's a bucket there. They each have a couple of buckets on the bed, and that's for the stuff that they choose to put what they want in there. They each have a bookshelf. I know it's really hard to see, but one of the things that we had to do was put these, what do you call them, Greg?
Screens. I'd call them a sunscreen.
A sunscreen, because literally at 4:30 every morning when we first started traveling, both boys would be up and ready to go for the day. And I'm like, this is not happening, not at 4:30 in the morning. So we had to, you know, find somewhere that had something that fit. And we happened to come across the little covers. I actually think they're for your sun covers, the vents in the roof. This ladder was the best thing that Craig made, because we had another ladder here which it came out and it stood to probably about here, so nobody could get past, and the kids thought it would be great and they'd swing on it and everything else. So we ditched that. In here, this is our bathroom. In here, it was the most ugliest, brownest thing I had ever seen. So I painted all the walls. I made this little sign with my Cricut. We put a shelf up, we did the backsplash. And in here, you will see this. I have one on this side and I have one on the other side, which is for my boys. It is the best thing that we purchased. Every time we were traveling, I would open it up. There would be bottles everywhere. They'd all fall down while you're traveling. You'd hear clunk, clunk, clunk as you were driving along. So someone suggested to buy one, and I bought it. Best thing I ever purchased. No more bottles, no more mess. Everybody can go squeeze, squeeze, squeeze the amount on their hand, wash their bodies, do whatever, and there were no bottles. Lucky last, this is the master bedroom. And we have a king-size bed. Yeah. I was so excited. Like, I originally had a king-size bed, and I was determined I was not downsizing. So we were lucky enough to find an RV that had a king size bed. The only downfall is we don't have under bed storage. It took me 3 weeks with a friend to come up with all the ideas and all the storage to put everything in a place, and we got rid of it. So now let's talk about the upgrades that we made throughout this whole process in the RV. So this is the backsplash. We purchased that from Walmart, but you can also pick that up on Amazon. We decided to stick with the same here as well as in the bathroom, just to save a little bit of money, because I wasn't exactly sure what color scheme or theme I was going to go for. So I decided to just buy this one, put it throughout. So I will link that below. Over here, these are the most hideous things I have ever seen. However, I cannot get rid of these because these hold our blinds, which are privacy blinds and then nighttime blinds. So I have to heat them up. So what I did, I went ahead and I covered them. It was very simple and very easy to do, but the reason I had this color is because we were already in a place where we only had Joann's, I think it was, and the color choices that they had were very minimal. So I just went with a plain simple green, so it goes with everything. We are going to get rid of these because we have found some friends that bought some beautiful blinds from IKEA. So once we get back to the mainland, because we're currently in the Keys, which is so exciting, we will be able to pull these down, get our blinds and put them up, and it's going to look so much nicer because I'm all about things being simple, clutter-free. I don't like a whole heap of plants and, you know, a whole heap of things like dishes or books or a lot of things out. I like it just to look clean, simple and minimal. So the paint on the wall here is actually called tin foil, and that's the color. It's like a gray blue, and the reason we chose this particular color was because it was made by the company Behr. It's a wash that you put on the wall. It already had a primer in it, so all I had to do was just paint over my walls, and that was it. I didn't have to worry about putting the primer on, then painting over the top. It was just an all-in-one. And the beauty about it is when you have kids and they put a mark or handprints or whatever, you just get a simple rag and just wipe over the wall and it'll come straight off. Best thing we have ever done. We did it in our house, we did it in our park model that we have, and now we did it in this, and I just have to get a cloth, just wipe it over, and it is clean. So I needed a bit of splash, a bit of color in my life, and all I did was buy a bit of sticky contact paper, and I covered my fridge. It gave it a different feel, a different look, because I like the piney woman look, you know, which is all about flowers and bright colors. My daughter calls it boho. She hates it, but I love it. The next job is probably to find someone to do the floors, because this horrible brown carpet has to go. It's disgusting. I vacuum 4 times a day and I still pick up so much hair because we have a cat, a dog, 3 kids, and I am tired of vacuuming so often.
You forgot one thing though.
What is that?
One thing that really makes the light in here pop and keeps us some privacy. Why don't you talk about the fact that our curtains are horrible at the front, so we only put them to the side mostly, but what do we have here in the front?
We have some sheer curtains, so it keeps the light coming in because we had a horrible time. The curtains were always shut. We never wanted to open them because everybody could see what was going on. Kept the curtains on the side so that way, you know, we still had the privacy at night. We could pull it around, but we always leave the curtains up at the front. They just, I think I bought them from Walmart. They were a pack of 2. I think they cost me like $5. Just trim the bottom, and then what we actually do, instead of pulling them down, we only pull them down on travel days, we have this big boy. And this actually goes across here. We put it under the cupboards and we put that up. So the biggest thing about purchasing a 5th wheel or a Class A or a Class C or a motorhome or whatever you want to purchase is well, especially me, I thought I needed the best one out there, the best rig, the best car to tow it, all the bells, the whistles, the island bench, you know, the big bunk beds and things like that, washer, dryer. But you know what, in reality, We don't need that. For the lifestyle that we wanted to achieve, which was living frugal, living next to nothing, having no debt, was to buy a second-hand RV that somebody had already fixed problems on. So we got it, and there was nothing to fix because it had already been fixed. We had an inspector come through, make sure everything was good, there was no leaks, there was no water damage, everything was ready to go. And I think we spent $30,000 for what we have, and that left us room just to be able to make it ours. It's not perfect, it's not brand new by any means, but it works great for us because at the end of the day, we have no debt. We sold our house in New Jersey. I had a Tahoe, which I'm so frustrated about, and I'll say it to everybody. I had to give my Tahoe up, which was the day that I handed that in was the day that I cried, because we purchased a model that was one model lower than we were able to tow with our dolly. So I wasn't able to do it, and my husband didn't want a flatbed. So we ended up buying a Dodge Journey, and it was such a small space. I'm used to something big, but you know what? We make it work. It's only on travel days. We tow it behind the RV, so it works out well. We own that outright. We own our RV outright. So the only money that we have is outgoings, is gas for our car, gas for the RV, and basically just the amount of money that we pay to stay at each park, because we are actually through a program called 1,000 Trails, which we will do a video on and we will explain about that later. But that is the best way that we have been able to live on the road. We have saved so much money, and that was what the purpose was. So at the end of the day, if we had to have, you know, the big brand new fifth wheel or the big brand new Class A and the big car to tow everything, we would still be back to where we were before we started this adventure. And the adventure was all about having the experience, going walkabout, making sure that our kids had the experience that they would never get to do again. So we decided that this was the best way to do it for us. It's not about fancy things. It's not about having the best. It's not about who has the best this, has the best that. It's what you call home. And this is what we call home.
Walkabout RV Adventures campsite. Come on along and have a beer and some food with us.
Woo! So the best thing about living in an RV is that all the great places that you get to see, all the great things you get to experience. Like right now, where are we?
At the ocean.
Crazy. So we are currently at the Keys in a resort called Fiesta Key. And right now, this is our view. Like, it is amazing. And these are all the things you get to experience while living full-time in an RV. You know, there are places that I don't think I could ever go and see, go and visit, or even go to.
You can go to the middle of the desert. You can come to the middle of the ocean. You can go to the city. You can go anywhere in an RV, but in a house, it's not like you can just pick it up and experience what we're experiencing now.
That's it. I mean, most of the time we do a lot of air travel, but since COVID started, we weren't able to do that. So now this is the biggest part of our life where we get to go out, we get to experience things, we get to be by the ocean, as Paige said. We get to go to the desert, we get to experience different field trips, just anything that you can get in the car and drive to. We have no limitations to where we can go.
We hope you enjoyed the RV tour as much as we enjoyed putting it together for you. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button and don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well. If you also hit that bell on the right hand side, you'll get notified when we upload a new video. Stay tuned as we upload more and more videos each and every single week. We look forward to showing you the world through our eyes. And until next time, let's go walkabout.